Namaste, everybody. Welcome to session 2 of morning breathwork with Rajyogi. In our last session, or the first session, we had seen how to do a little bit of belly breathing, some Hanuman master breath, and complete yogic breath. आशा है, I trust आप लोग practice कर रहे हो. Are you all trusting? Are you all practicing? Sorry. Hmm.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, starting with belly breathing, अच्छे से हो रहा है. Then Hanuman master breath वो भी अच्छे से हो रहा है. And the third part is the complete yogic breath. All happening well? किसी में भी कोई परेशानी हो रही?
Not yet.
Not yet. Alright, okay. क्या हो गया, आज तो कोई भी नहीं आया, आप खाली 4-5 लोग हैं खाली. ऐसे तो how long will you continue? Can we continue in this way? Should we wait or shall we just continue the way we are? क्या सोचते हो आप?
Let us start the session, sir.
I know, but फिर यदि अब कुछ लोग यदि आते हैं तो फिर they may ask कि क्या हुआ अभी तक, or they may
Yeah,
feel
I
a
know.
little
I
left
can
behind.
understand.
जी. But anyway, we can't wait, too long.
We can have a recap of the previous session. maybe.
जी. Okay. Okay, I think that's a better idea. So in the previous session, we had started with belly breathing. Belly breathing आपने बोला कि आपका अच्छा से हो रहा है. Is it becoming like a default breath? Is it something that is happening constantly all the time?
No.
Yes.
That is important. Okay, who said yes? Who said yes? One of you said yes. Priyanka ji said yes. Okay, what about you, Hemant ji, Geeta ji?
I'm trying my level best.
No, nothing
Let's
to try,
go.
nothing to try, nothing
No,
to
I
try.
know we need to
Hmm.
allow. I understood everything. So it's okay. It's almost happening.
Okay, so if it is happening regularly, that's a very good thing. Yeah. If it is not happening regularly, simple ways, anytime your attention goes to your breath, whenever your attention goes to your breath, allow belly breathing to happen.
Yes.
Very simple.
Yes.
If you have understood what belly breathing is, and I think most of you have understood because we've discussed this a few times, आपको वो बहुत आसानी से होता है. It's because it's the most natural way to breathe. Even a baby breathes like this. So there is no, I mean, great detail or great effort or great knowledge required to do this. Just being relaxed, just being at ease. Being at ease is something most people have forgotten. विकास जी, हेमंत जी, सोनल जी, can you turn on your videos? आज तो बहुत कम लोग हैं, ऐसे तो
Oh my God.
पता नहीं चलेगा, but
Yeah. I had cough and cold. That's why I turned it off. But okay.
okay. तो कफ एंड कोल्ड के लिए in the bigger group, that is the breathwork with Rajyogi group, I had shared Shwaskosh Shuddhi Kriya videos or links to the videos. Did you see it? Shwaskosh Shuddhi Kriya is a very powerful technique to cleanse your lungs and also nadis. उसके videos मैंने डाले in the breathwork with Rajyogi, the other group, where we have sessions on Sundays. उसमें if you go there, अभी मिल भी जाएगा, बहुत ऊपर भी नहीं गया होगा, तो it will be easy to scroll and get it. श्वासकोश lungs शुद्धि क्रिया. If you do that practice also, सीखने में समय लगता है. See, when you start anything new, it takes a little while to begin to understand. So that allowance you have to give. But once you begun to understand and the practice begins to happen, that's when the results will come. Like belly breathing. Very simple, very easy. Almost so easy that most people don't even find it interesting because there's nothing to do. It just happens. It happens when you are in a state of relaxation, when you are in a state of ease. And whenever you are in that state, belly breathing takes over And as and when belly breathing becomes your normal breathing system, technique, stress, etc., a lot of things connected with stress, they begin to melt away. They just begin to go away. हाँ बोलिए प्रियंका जी.
In fact, I would like to share is whenever I feel stressed, that is how I developed the habit. Whenever I feel stress or maybe some anxiety or I'm, not feeling well, I kind of bring my attention to the normal breath. And
Beautiful.
that's how I have developed the habit of, bringing my attention, being aware of that.
And you allow belly breathing to happen.
Yes.
And when you allow belly breathing to happen, you notice that your stress levels come down
Yes. I mean, the thought vanishes. So because my concentration is like at a
on your
different
breath.
place. So
Attention
it
is on your breath. So the worrying thought or the stressing thought moves
vanishes.
away. Yeah. So when you pay attention to your breath, when your focus is on your breath, naturally the role of the mind reduces.
True.
Unfortunately for us, most of our problems are created in the mind, our own mind. Your mind cannot create problems for me, usually. My mind alone can create problems for you. My mind can create problems for some people who are very close to me because of what I say, do, and then they're reflected in my actions. But basically, my mind is responsible for whatever is happening inside me, good and bad. Now, mind is a very powerful thing. However, the power of the mind is working against us, me, or whatever. If my mind is working against me, how can my life be good? So if your mind is, if you notice, I think I shared an article, not in this group, but I shared it in the bigger group, in the Breathwork with Rajyogi group. Did you see that? I'll tell you which one it was.
Which one?
It was about thoughts and emotions, how they reveal your consciousness. Did you see that?
I
Nahi
saw
dekha
it
tha?
once, but I didn't get the time to
You
actually
didn't
go
get the
through.
time to read it. Okay. So it was about how thoughts and emotions, how they reflect or they show your consciousness. Remember, human beings have potentially many different levels of consciousness. Human beings also potentially have the ability to raise their consciousness. However, if we keep our consciousness at the lower levels, what does that mean? Lower level? See, all other creatures, they eat, they find food, they eat, they survive. They procreate, create families, and so on. If a human life is also limited to basically just finding food or survival, basically, or procreation, it's such a limited life. Sometimes a little influence in a group. So, like a pack of dogs, there is a alpha dog, as they call it. So, some kind of influence over a group of similar beings or people, etc. So this is the level of lower chakras, or this is the action of lower level of consciousness. Normally, when our attention or when our mind is working, it is working with thoughts and emotions related to these lower kind of vibrations. I'm worried about my next meal, or I'm worried about making money, or I'm worried about survival. I think about something that people may have said some time ago, how that may have hurt me, or sometimes I remember, I recall something that may have happened a very long time ago, and I
Yeah.
create misery in myself.
Actually, to
What
put
is
it like in a nutshell, it is like mostly we are wondering either in the past or in the future.
yes,
So
yes,
this, bringing this awareness of this breath,
mm,
it allows me to be in present,
absolutely. So
and
the
that is
breath
what.
happens in the yeah, breath happens in the present moment.
It's
Ma, I need a photo
You,
of you holding it.
you cannot breathe yesterday. You cannot breathe tomorrow. Your breath is now at this moment.
Like to be
So
on picture, but then I don't have an ID.
I
What do you
think
want to use?
I'll mute
Takes
everybody.
they banned me for no reason.
So when you need to speak, please unmute yourselves. So when your attention is on the present moment, the role of the mind is reduced, number one. Number two, the mind's destructive action against you, naturally. If the mind is throwing up thoughts, etc., which are working to your detriment, which are working against you, how are they working against you? They are helping you feel, or they are making you feel unpleasant, not so good. Remember, a human being, the range of consciousness in a human being can take him down to something where he is almost demonic. His actions are almost like demons. Or, on the other hand, almost to a godlike being. So, when we think of godlike, what does that mean? What is godlike? God is a creator. So, when God creates, it's not as if he's using, all his strength, power, energy, or resources to create. He thinks, visualizes, wills, and things happen. Similarly, with many people, as their consciousness begins to rise, so much in their lives begin to happen, so many things in their lives begin to happen just because they will it, because they think it. So as you begin to lower the negative effects of your mind, at least wake, the wrong effect is cut down. And belly breathing helps beautifully in this, as Priyanka ji just said. Now, what is the next step? You've cut off, or you've slowed down the negative effects of your mind. Very good. But the next step is to take it to where it becomes a contributor, or it becomes a you something that is helping you with your growth, with your fulfillment, with helping to move you towards your highest potential. What is the highest potential? What is the highest potential? You'll have to unmute because everybody's muted at the moment.
To be with the self.
To be with the self. Okay. In a sense,
Highest, sorry,
हाँ बोलिए 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 विकास जी बोलिए.
highest potential was, I think, what you mentioned last time, Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi, which is similar to what Hemanji said about being
Right.
with the self. It is that experience of being one with it all. So on the one level, when the ego speaks, or when the ego begins to understand that it is really nothing, the ego might say, I am nothing. Maybe. It doesn't want to say that. Ego hates to say I'm nothing. It is nothing, but it hates to say I'm nothing. But the other end of the spectrum, the self, the real self, the true self, the higher self, there is nothing that I am not. So it includes everything. There is nothing that I am not. Aham Brahmasmi. Anyway, so this is where the belly breathing creates a sense of ease, so that everything flows within you with, relative ease, and your energy can slowly begin to move higher. Have you seen a coconut tree?
Yes.
I'm sure you have.
Yes, it's great.
It's so tall,
Yeah.
30, 40, 50 feet tall sometimes. Stand near a coconut tree, you will not hear any pump. There is no sound of any pump. But there is so much water being moved from the soil upwards towards those, big coconuts, and filling them with the water, that it's raising so comfortably up along its trunk. And so much water is moved. Scientists say it happens because of osmosis. But how come scientists have not created systems with osmosis to pump water up in our buildings?
True.
So, fine, they may have a logical explanation for that. But this osmosis, or whatever this system is, which is lifting all this water, has to be some amazing system. Believe me, and it's a system that is also available in us. When we are at ease, our energy starts to move up in a similar way. A similar kind of osmotic effect, if you want to think of it this way. Yeah, Vikashji, I think you wish to say something. No? Okay. So this is what is happening, or this is what can happen in a human being as well. So start with belly breathing. Let it become as much of a default breath, as much of a normal breath for you as possible. Very good. Hanuman Master Breath is what we have learned in our breath work with Rajyogi. I trust you are all familiar with it and that you are practicing it. Sabka ho raha hai Hanuman Master Breath? Or if you have any difficulties with that, let me know. You'll have to unmute if you wish to say anything.
Very new for that.
Sorry?
I'm new because this is the second time I'm in the meeting.
This is okay.
I
This is
don't
your
know.
second session.
Absolutely.
Are you not in the breath work with Rajyogi group where we have those Sunday sessions?
No, no, no.
Okay. I'll share the earlier videos with you.
Yeah, sure.
I have the links to the recordings, so take a look.
Thank
What
you so
about the
much.
others? Not at all. What about the others?
Sir,
Hmm.
I'm practicing Hanuman Master Breath. Slowly, I'm getting accustomed to do that. It's
Mhm.
becoming easy. And the second part, while exhaling, I used to feel a little discomfort while going up to the spine. But now I feel daily practicing, even that is also, it's okay. I'm feeling comfortable.
It's comfortable. The Hanuman Master Breath usually does not create any discomfort, but allow it to happen like belly breathing happens. Allow it to happen a little more naturally. When
Yes.
you pull your breath up the spine, you don't have to pull very hard. Number one. Number two, always keep your belly relaxed. So that means some kind of belly breathing or the process of belly breathing is happening at some level.
Yes.
So
Maybe
when
my posture was wrong, sir.
ah, regarding postures in for pranayam, yoga, they suggest numerous postures. For example, Sukhasana is okay. Vajra Asana is pretty good. Lotus pose, Padmasana, that is good. Ardh Siddhasana is also good. Siddhasana is also good. So there are numerous postures. All you need to do is keep your back comfortably
Correct.
straight,
Yes.
not strained straight, comfortable straight. That is enough.
Okay, thank you.
Now, as this Hanuman Master Breath happens, you are creating conditions for that osmotic effect that we said. It's really not an osmotic effect, just a way to explain an idea, but to help your energy move higher. The more your energy will move higher, the more easily you will begin to access higher levels of consciousness. How do you know your levels of consciousness are rising? Can anybody tell me? How do you know your levels of consciousness are rising? Who can tell me?
So for me personally, I feel I'm more like I'm calmer than before. And
Mhm.
also in terms of making decisions, it is
Mhm.
like now easier.
Mhm.
I don't have to juggle a lot.
Okay.
And somewhere I'm aware of what I'm doing.
Okay, very good. So that's almost like a witness state, which is very good. Okay, very good. Uh, so I repeat the question. How do you know your awareness or your consciousness is rising? Anybody else? Priyanka ji shared some of her thoughts. Anyone else?
Can
Would
I
you
say
believe?
I can.
Yeah. Please, Vikas ji, go
can I say
on.
turmoil?
No, I'm not
Turmoil.
clear. No, that one word answer doesn't tell me much.
As what I'm saying is, as the energy rises or consciousness rises through the sushumna and starts activating the chakras, those, like that cellular memory, and there's obviously a lot of turmoil, maybe depending on. But then, if you're, like you had mentioned last time, if you're in a witness state during that stage, then yes, you can be assured that your consciousness is rising. But if you get caught in the turmoil of the
Mm,
energy going through the chakras,
mm,
then probably
yes.
still need some practice.
Interesting, valid point. Everybody goes through situations when there is a term we use nowadays, we are triggered, we get irritated, we get angry, we get, upset or whatever. So things happen, and usually these things happen with people close to us. Sometimes it can also happen on the street, the thing called road rage. But something triggers you. When something triggers you, it's almost like you lose control over your own systems. You react. So when you react, you're not thinking, you're not aware how what you say, do, etc. will impact you, but you react. What does the reaction do? Your reaction is likely to cause more injury, hurt, or damage somebody in some way. So what this is achieving is it's creating more of a karmic bondage for you. You are getting tied in karmic issues, energy. This is energy. But when you bring in the witness state and you notice what is happening, what are the thoughts that are passing through you, what are the feelings that you're observing inside you, and you do not respond to the being triggered, or you do not react in the way that you would normally have done, you approach it with a little more rationality. Now you are not adding to the pool of karmic connections or that soup of karmic involvement with that person or situation. So now you are slowly beginning to disengage from such things or such karma or such triggers. Now think of yourself as a ship. If you are a ship and if you've dropped anchor, naturally the ship will not move ahead. So sorry. Naturally the ship will not move ahead. But if you've lifted anchor, then the ship is free to move on. So when you do this, you don't engage the way your triggered emotions may have wanted you to get engaged or respond or react. Now you are free to look ahead. Are we clear? But the question was, how do you know your consciousness is rising? One is that you are not getting caught up in those situations where you were easily caught up earlier. It's a clear sign. Vikasji mentioned it. Fair enough. But the other thing is, what are your normal thoughts and emotions? Are you thinking, are you focused on those things that you have been focused on, let's say 10 years ago, or since, you know, forever, if you like? Sometimes, people have this habit of drinking, and they drink throughout their lives, or smoking, and they continue to smoke all their lives. They're just not able to kick the habit, though they know it's not good for them. Maybe until a doctor gives a final warning. It's either this or that. Then sometimes that can help, right? Yeah. Anybody, any comment? I think somebody wishes to say something. Yeah, go on.
So I would like to share, as
Mm,
in for the same purpose, because
mm,
I have two kids. And
mm,
when two kids are there, and my
mm,
husband's
mm,
work is also
mm,
work from home,
mm,
so it becomes a lot for me to handle. So as
yes.
you rightly said, ki it
Mm,
is with the near and dear ones and the frustration and sometimes,
mm,
that anxiety.
mm,
So
mm,
that's the reason why I could relate it, that I am
mm,
really calmer than
mm.
before I was. And
Excellent.
the second thing is how I have adopted is I
Mm,
have started giving me small challenges, in
mm,
the sense, today or for 5 days, I would not react on this, or maybe I
mm,
would not do this. I
mm,
would not use my mobile for, say, 5 hours at a
mm,
stretch. So
mm,
these are the
mm,
little challenges, and when I conquer
mm,
on them, I feel, happier. That boosts me up
mm.
to go ahead and,
Very
do
valid,
things.
very
Yeah.
valid, very good observation, and she's right. So she is consciously working on herself, which means she is actually consciously beginning to raise her consciousness. Excellent. Anybody else? Anybody else? How do you know your consciousness is rising?
Um, what I feel is, whatever the situation is, I'm okay.
Okay, okay, whatever the external situation is, you feel, which is similar to Priyanka ji. She feels calmer. She feels a little more in control of herself,
Right.
even in very trying situations. So that means
Actually,
you're not getting
absolutely,
triggered easily.
absolutely.
Excellent. Very good.
Getting anchored, getting anchored.
No, okay, fine. Getting anchored to yourself, or
Yeah, to
being in a
myself.
state, yeah,
Absolutely.
being in a state where you're not easily affected by the goings on around you. Yes. So that's a great way to start extricating yourself from situations that may have impacted you negatively.
Yeah, a constant peace
Yes. Constant
at
sense
sea.
of peace, etc. Constant sense of being joyful, for example,
True.
internally. It's not like you have
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
dancing on the street or
No,
something
no.
like that. That
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
done. I mean, the
I
Hare
understand.
Krishna people, they do it all the time, and that's wonderful as well. But
Yeah,
it's wonderful, especially if it's coming from within. If it's only an external thing,
yeah,
well, sometimes you do something externally for a while, it also becomes a part of you.
yeah. This is a
At
choice
least it's not,
we make.
sorry,
This is a choice. This is a choice
it's a
I
choice we're
make.
making. Yeah, it's a choice we're making. So, in a sense, we are training ourselves to be
Yeah,
in a certain way. So,
very true.
whatever we do outside through choice, through through conscious decision, will impact how we are affected inside, and that's a good thing. So, in a sense, they are teaching themselves to be in a state of joy. In
True.
Sanatan Dharma, in Hinduism, we speak of Sat Chit Anand, Sachidanand,
Oh,
state of Sachidanand. The state of Sachidanand basically means you are in, you are aware of your reality, of your truth. Why do you say your truth? Because it has come to you as an experience. It's come to you as an awareness. What is this awareness? That I'm not the ego. I may have an ego, but I am not the ego. I will not, I stop identifying myself as the ego thing. So, ego is like a shirt that you are wearing. I, I may be wearing a shirt, but I'm not the shirt. I may have an ego, but I'm not the ego. So, you begin to understand that. So, when we say I am not the ego, what is the implication? That you are not that limited self that your ego actually is, but tries to make itself as a very, very big thing. Ego is actually a limiter. Actually, ego doesn't expand, it wants to expand. But ego cannot expand because intrinsically it's a limiting thing. The thing that can expand is your higher self, because that its reality. The question is only discovering it. The discovery happens as the veils of the ego, and the ego can have many veils. As the veils of the ego begin to fall away. What are the veils of the ego? Ego creates its own sense of identity. This is what I am. I am Rajesh. I am so and so. I am owner of so and so. I am, I'm whatever, whatever, whatever. What all those things, ideas, thoughts, actions, all those things that I identify with. Those are my sense of ego. So
Is
ego
it the
creates
mask
in,
that I'm
pardon,
wearing? Is it the
it's a
mask? It's the mask on
ego.
my Atma.
Ego is a sense. It is a kind of mask. Yes, it is a kind of mask because, see, it's not as if the ego has no role. Ego does have a role. As long as this Atma needs to continue in this being, in this body, there has to be someone or something that looks after it. For example, the presence of the Atma makes life happen in this body. True. The moment the Atma leaves the body, life will not happen. So the beating of my heart, the circulation of my blood, the digestion of my food, etc. All that is being done because of the presence of Atma. It creates the environment for all of this to happen. And all of it just happens, just as whatever God, that supreme being, whatever he thinks or whatever he wills happens. So in that sense, he's willed whatever the processes of this body are to continue to happen. So it happens. However, for example, I'm walking down a street and I'm in that state of being one, or that higher awareness or that witness state, and whatever the sounds around me are do not come into my eyes or ears or senses or whatever. I don't see what is happening, what is moving in front of me. I don't hear the horn behind me. I could suddenly get hit, and that's the end of my life. So, in situations like this, or somebody's coming at me with a knife, and I'm not concerned, it's just a body. Let him do whatever he's doing. So he stabs, he does whatever he does to this body. Well, that's the end of this body, that's the end of this being. So this sense of this sense of this need to survive, ego plays a role here, and it plays an important role in that sense. There are probably practices, for example, in qigong or in China, etc., where they become so meditative, but even in a meditative state, they are so aware of whatever is happening around them that they can respond in a sense through the higher self. But I'm not sure of this. I'm just saying this out of whatever little I've read, seen, watched, understood, etc. Anyway, be that as it may, so the ego plays a role at a certain level to keep this body and soul together. This is where the question of Dvait and Advait comes in. Some people believe in Dvait or that philosophy of Dvait because they understand or they acknowledge that ego has to play a role for life to continue. So when it's playing the role so that life continues, they subsume this role. They make it into like in ISKCON. They will make the ego into a das of the higher self or the das of Krishna. So they will use the name something das, something das, something das, usually. Right? So by creating the sense of being a servant of the higher self, at least the ego is not allowed to go crazy and grow, immensely. That's what it's achieving. That's what it's helping achieve. In our own beings, as we begin to pay less and still less and still less attention to the games of the ego, to the drama of the ego, we slowly start connecting more and more with the higher ego. Like we said, I think, like we discussed in our last session, in that sense, your higher self is probably the biggest ego because it says, I am all. There is nothing that I am not, right? So it goes to that. Anyway, so belly breathing Hanuman master breath. And what was the third thing which started? Complete yogic breath. Remember. So even as we talk, let's keep our attention on our breath. बातें तो होती रहेंगी. Himaji says samarpan bhav to God. Yeah, samarpan bhav to God. That is, bhakti.
Okay.
Hmm. Krishna has explained how there are four ways to reach that ultimate state of yoga, of uniting with the Supreme. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Bhakti yoga, and Raj yoga.
Okay.
When we combine all of these things, then our journey to the Supreme Self becomes easy. Now, notice something very interesting as a human being. As your consciousness begins to grow, actually everything else becomes easier in your life. Challenges will come. You will be tested along the way in many, many, many different ways. But basically, survival or fulfillment of whatever you wish to see happen becomes easier. So, therefore, people with higher consciousness, when they bless somebody, for example, किसी के सर पे हाथ रख के कुछ blessing, benediction, when they give, it comes to it happens because their consciousness has grown to that extent where if it's coming out of them, life is making it happen. So, what are the two things in life? Consciousness and energy, Shiva and Shakti. That's all there is to this spirituality. Consciousness and energy. If you want to think of it as Krishna, that's okay. Krishna and Radha. If you want to think of it in terms of Ram, that is also okay. Ram is also that supreme consciousness. Sita is the mind. And in the Ramayana story, it comes up so beautifully. Ram, Sita sees something, it creates desire in her. When she sees that golden deer, right? She wants that golden deer. So what is that? Desire. Since Sita is so closely attached or so closely connected with Ram, Ram goes to fulfill her desire. How does Ram go to fulfill her desire? He goes by going to try and catch the deer and bring it back. He catches the deer because Ram is Ram, supreme. He can do it. He catches the deer, but the deer is not the deer that it seemed to be. It's somebody pretending to be that. It's a lie. So Ram is dealing with that. In the meantime, Sita is now worried that my Ram has not come back. My desire has not been fulfilled. Worry begins to happen. She sends Lakshman. What is Lakshman? Lakshman, think of Lakshman, willpower. She sends Lakshman. She sends Lakshman to look for Ram. Lakshman says, okay, I'll go, but you must not cross this boundary. He creates a Lakshman Rekha. Because beyond this, there is no control. Anything can happen. Now, how does Sita get mind? How does mind get deceived? No one comes to force her or do anything. Something comes that pretends to be in need of help, support, pity, etc. Right? That is how Ravan comes, no then? Is that right? He pretends to be someone who needs your goodness, etc., to help. So now it is appealing to the mind in a different way. See how many different ways the mind is being cajoled to move away from Ram. When Sita goes to offer something, Ram says, no, 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 I can't come, you come and give it here. He's standing outside the Lakshman Rekha, unaware, momentarily forgetting that, Lakshman had created this, or momentarily disregarding. She steps out, and the rest is history. Now, Sita, the mind is carried away. Mind is carried away by Ravan. What is Ravan? Who can tell me what is Ravan? Ahankar. Why does Ravan have 10 heads? Because Ahankar can show itself in so many different ways. You cut off one head, there is still another head. That's how the ego works. And then what? What is needed? What is needed to bring Sita back? Hanuman, the power of breath. Breath, the power of breath is required to bring Sita back from wherever ego has carried away the mind. So I've shared many articles about how ego, mind, and emotions, they're always together. They support each other, they bolster each other. Ego, mind, emotions. By connecting with the breath, you are, in that sense, enlisting Hanuman within you. Therefore, when I teach breath work, etc., etc., I often tell people, when you connect with your breath, you come under the protection of Hanumanji. You see, this is what is happening, and all our shastras, etc., they teach us to slowly understand the role of the mind and to overcome the games of the mind. Mind, ego, emotion, always together. Now, as you sit, I hope you are doing your complete yogic breath. Are you doing your complete yogic breath? What is the complete yogic breath? How do you do it? बताइए बताइए. भूल गए. सब भूल गए. Oh my God. गीता जी, प्रियंका जी, विकास जी, सब भूल गए. What is the complete yogic breath? You remember we did it in our last session. बोलिए बोलिए बोलिए. No? Why isn't anyone saying anything? I know it's a very small group today, so something like this has to happen. Remember, in the complete yogic breath, you let your whole system be relaxed, which is how you were in the belly breathing module as well. Allow your breath to go as low as it goes. Now, can you tell me? Fill that breath like a pot. Fill that breath from the lowest portion all the way up along the spine, or all the way up towards the shoulders. Those who have learned the Hanuman master breath can simultaneously channel one part of the breath up along the spine. So you'll get a sense as if you're filling up like a balloon along the front and also up along the back. करके देखिए एक बार. And then allow your exhale up the spine. Take a full, slow, deep breath. Let it go to the lowest portion. Collect and exhale up the spine. complete yogic breath helps you to access most of your lungs, for example, or a large part of your lungs. So it begins to exercise the lungs. It helps you to expand the lungs nearer to its capacity. It also helps when this happens to clear out anything that needs to be thrown out away from the lungs. So if you are catching a cold, if you feel that you are not able to breathe so comfortably, if you do the complete yogic breath, about 15 or 20 cycles of this, no matter how bad a cold you are dealing with, at least your breathing will become easier. Sometimes when our cold is bad, when we go to bed, we can't sleep because the system feels clogged up. But if you do the complete yogic breath, 15, 20 cycles of this, it'll make breathing easier so that you'll at least get a good night's sleep. Not being able to breathe, struggling for your breath, tossing and turning in bed, these are not nice feelings. Complete yogic breath will help you with this, and it brings many other benefits as well. As you teach yourself to do more and more and more of complete yogic breath, naturally, the energy systems in your body are also impacted, which is what we need to continue to do. Okay, any comment or any questions about whatever we've discussed and done so far? Any
Sir,
questions?
what is the difference between Hanuman Master Breath and complete yogic breath? I feel
Okay.
almost one and same.
So what you feel is the same because you've understood Hanuman Master Breath and you are using it with the complete yogic breath. Remember, in the Hanuman Master Breath, you are beginning to access your Sushumna.
Yes.
In most people who do the complete yogic breath, they may not have learned to access the Sushumna. So they can fill the breath along the front, but they will not get a sense that they're filling the breath along the back as well. Not as fully as it is along the front. If you take a full breath along the front, it seems to balloon like a balloon blows up. It feels, it feels as if it's ballooning here. But you don't get the same ballooning effect along the back. But there is something that happens. Observe, do for yourself. Channel the breath along the only up the front and channel your breath also up along the back. See the difference. And then tell me what you notice. Notice anything?
No, sir, I'm not able to find any difference between those two actually. I'm able to.
Are you able to channel your breath up the spine?
Yes.
So try doing it without channeling the breath up the spine. And then see the difference. Anybody else? Me?
So can I ask you something?
Yes, please go ahead.
When I do this, I feel that, sort of goosebumps till here. And also a tingling sensation in the spine. Something is like when cold breeze touches you. Sort of.
Very good.
So, is it okay? Is it normal?
It's not okay, it's good. These are signs that your sushumna is getting activated, that movement is happening through the sushumna. So it's a good thing. Sandhya ji is asking, can we do Hanuman breathing laying down if you can't keep the back straight? But Sandhya ji, why can't you keep the back straight? What is stopping you from keeping the back straight? Why don't you come here and speak, Sandhya ji? It's easier, no? Turn on your microphone and your video. But yes, short answer. If you are doing it lying down, also it's okay. It won't get the same results because the movement of your breath, your energy will not be quite the same. So therefore, it's easier when, or it's better when you are sitting, or even when you are doing it standing. But anyway, that's you can do Hanuman Master Breath lying on your back as well. Right? Anybody else? Anything else? Geeta ji, did you find the difference?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the difference?
It's like in Hanuman Master Breath, while exhaling, I'm not feeling that complete, it's going up to the spine.
So the breath feels a little incomplete because you've
Yes.
experienced it with the Hanuman Master Breath
Yes.
also.
Yes.
So that's it. That's it. It's a fuller, better,
Yeah,
deeper
yeah,
breath.
yeah, yes. Yes,
That's
I
it.
got it.
Very good. I have a question for you guys. Today we've only had 5, 6 people present at this morning session. And so many people, 70, 80 people joined the group. But is it worth our time to do this if such few people, so few people come? If you are interested, we can choose another time.
Uh, so I think we can maybe like if you think it is okay, we can maybe reduce the frequency, maybe weekly or every 2 weeks. Keep on practicing, and then we come together to discuss and any issues or thing. If that's a suggestion, if you think that is okay.
No, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. So for all practical purposes, after today, we will discontinue the morning breathwork session. Unless, of course, something happens in the group and more people are interested, then we might give it one more try. But from the looks of it, it's not about asking people to do something. If they want to do it, they'll do it. If they don't want to do it, there's no point forcing anyone to do anything. Breathwork on its own is a very powerful thing, but not everybody gets called by breathwork. So in that sense, not everybody is called by Hanumanji, because to me it's one. You know, all that I've learned, all that I've understood about breath and its power and its healing abilities, etc. I think of it as a gift or as an insight from Hanumanji, which is what I say. When you connect with your breath, you come under Hanumanji's umbrella, or Hanumanji takes you under his umbrella. So we'll see, if more people are genuinely interested in continuing with the morning sessions. Otherwise, there's no point, 2, 3, and there's no guarantee that all of you will also be able to join in the next sessions in any case. So I think we'll just
So, but we can join the other sessions, no, that you'll
yes,
be
yes, yes.
doing
Other
in
session,
the other group.
the Sunday sessions are continuing. If you are in that group, naturally you can join. If you are not in that group, if you ask to join that group, I'll obviously add you in. No problem.
I am there in the
Please
group.
add me.
You're there. Yeah,
Please
Hemanji.
add me.
No, but
Uh,
are you in the morning breathwork group?
yeah,
Hmm?
like
You're there? just send me a message, no, on my WhatsApp, and I'll add you to
Sure,
the
sure, sure.
network with
Yeah,
Rajyogi.
I don't want to miss.
Okay, most
This
welcome.
experience is just mind-boggling.
Thank you so much. So kind of you. So breath is a very powerful thing. But the reason I wanted to do this morning breathwork program, or I offered to do it, is because there are many new people who are somewhat interested in joining or connecting with the breath. I can share techniques, but techniques they have to practice on their own. But the focus for the morning breathwork program would have been to simply do certain kinds of breathwork and a little bit of chanting like we did in our last session, which we
Yeah,
haven't done today, but to use the combination of these to get you to connect little deeper and still deeper with your breath. As you begin to connect with your breath and as you create this intimacy with your breath will slowly begin to guide you, inspire you, and so on, which is a wonderful way to be. But I'm sorry, it's flopped so fast, 2 sessions and it's fallen flat.
Sir,
And
Not lost, sir. It's like we have gained.
no, you
So
have gained because you are here and you think you've gained, but what a,
quality matters. Quality.
that is true. Quality does matter, and
sir,
Even there's 1%.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah,
That is so true.
sir,
Even G,
I'm an ardent devotee of Hanumanji.
G,
I feel I'm really blessed to attend these morning sessions. I'm
G.
immensely benefited by your sessions, sir. I don't know about others. I feel
Okay.
really getting up at 4:30 itself is a
Mm,
difficult task for me.
mm,
If I'm able
mm,
to sit before yourself, this
mm.
itself shows.
Okay. So
sir,
that means
actually, I have a quote, which is when you learn something, it is
mm,
never time wasted. It is always time
yeah.
invested.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. No, the reason why I'm saying whatever I'm saying is, see, today 4, 5 of you are here, but what is the guarantee that the next time you will be here? I have to make an extra effort to do the 5
I
a.m.
know,
class.
I know, I know.
yeah,
It's
that's
not
true.
as if
I
it's
know.
not as if, and I have to sacrifice certain other things, my time or whatever. No, sacrifice is a bad word. I have to allocate my time differently and so on. This is something I love to do, and I would love to connect more and more people with their breath and so on. So, well, if some of you are saying that you are, or if you are hinting that you are going to continue over the next few sessions at least,
It's
uh,
our
well,
pleasure.
it's your
It's our
pleasure.
pleasure.
So that means I
Yes,
have
sir.
Of
Geeta
course,
ji and Hemant ji, two people basically saying that you will be here
of
in the
course.
morning. Okay. So whether I can get myself to do this with two people, but then you are two committed people. So I think I'll do it then for you. Two committed
That's
people.
so nice of you,
Sir,
sir.
this is a
Thank you.
suggestion for you, sir.
Mhm.
Make it a
Mhm.
paid this thing, sir. So those who are
Ah,
really interested,
yes, yes, that's a very good point.
Yeah,
Because
good
then we
tips.
Very,
can filter out.
yes, very often in life, unless people uh, pay, they do not value
yes,
what is there. That
yes, I
is
know.
so,
I can understand. Please
that
make
is
it
so.
like that, sir, so that those who are really interested can get
Mm,
the benefits.
So what I'm going to do is
Yeah,
in the morning breath work with Raj Yogi, I'm going to make it whoever wants to continue to be in the group, they need to pay an amount.
Yes,
What
yes.
would you suggest an amount, or would you like me to leave it open? Up to you.
You please suggest,
An
sir.
amount is
Should it be per session? Should it be like one time? How should it be? So there are numerous aspects to it.
Month basis,
monthly, monthly.
Monthly
monthly.
basis. Okay. Monthly basis, fine. Priyanka ji, makes sense?
yes, yes, definitely.
Yes,
Hmm,
sir.
okay. Right.
And then there
So,
can be membership.
okay. Okay. Yeah. So see, you are committed, so I don't even mind if it's not paid from you guys. but it's the others who are the concern, because uh, I've been noticing this. I've been doing different kinds of breathwork sessions and so on. In fact, on the day that the Hanuman, uh, on the day that the Ram temple was inaugurated, the Pran Pratishtha was done. So for that occasion, I had offered to teach the Swatantra Kriya, which is a very, very powerful breathwork system, which works on your pranamaya kosh. The price of that is, the fee of that is actually 1 lakh rupees. But I just felt I'm going to offer it free, or whoever wants to come at whatever they wish to give. So two people joined. One is from Singapore. He paid 100 Singapore dollars, which is about 6,000 rupees. He did for about 8-10 days. But there were certain rules that he had to follow, like sending reports, etc., etc. He wasn't doing those. And I kept asking him to send his reports. And then I think that kind of, got to him. The other guy was an Indian who had paid 1,100 rupees. 2 sessions later, he was gone. So that's the problem. It's difficult. It's difficult. People want it for free, but they don't use it when they get free. They don't value it. They don't understand it. And when it is when there is a price and there's a good price, they don't understand also that there is so much that goes into it. See, whatever I'm teaching has come out of a huge amount of life experience. There is a program I teach, for example, ED reversal, erectile dysfunction. It's a condition that affects men, especially in their middle ages or often in their middle ages and so on. And breathwork cures that. I started teaching it, at a fee, and people actually joined and took part and gained out of it. But there were programs that I was teaching for free, and people would just kind of drop out. It's a difficult question, very difficult question, but one has to try and find a balance, because everything for me to survive also costs money. I'm still a grihast. I'm not a sadhu, and if I were a sadhu, I probably wouldn't have, you know, the wherewithal required to conduct whatever is being conducted. So yeah, challenge. We'll see how it goes. I'll share my thoughts in the group, and then of course you
Okay,
can
sir.
pitch in,
Okay.
and then we can take it from there.
Okay.
Anything else? Shall we end for today?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and
Thank you, sir.
hopefully see you on Friday. At least some of you on Friday.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Namaste. Namaste.